Hello, my name is Matthew. I am a member of the Knopf Doubleday marketing team, and I am so excited to share with you these 6 titles, which, if they are not on your radar already, they need to be starting now. Up first is Olympus Texas, which is a big-hearted debut with Technicolor characters and a whole lot of Texas swagger. It tells the story of the Briscoe family, who is once again the talk of their small East Texas town, when prodigal son March returns 2 years after being caught in an affair with his brother's wife. Meanwhile, his father, Peter's own past affairs and indiscretions continue to plague the family. Not least of all is Peter's wife, June, who is growing tired of being the long-suffering spouse. Within days of March's arrival, loyalties will be tested, marriages will be upended, and somebody's going to end up dead. And for all of this book's thoroughly modern family drama and messy dynamics, my favorite part of this book is its wink to classical mythology. You are absolutely going to disappear into this book's pages, and Stacey Swan is for sure a writer to watch. Up next, if you have watched this event previously, you may have seen me discuss Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, and good news, it is finally here. In one storyline, you follow Marion, who is a woman who was rescued from an ocean liner as a baby in 1914. She was raised by her uncle in a fairly Wild West, Montana. After growing up and encountering a pair of barnstorming pilots, Marion herself decides to be a pilot and makes it her goal in life to circumnavigate the globe at its north and south poles, the Great Circle. But she and her plane vanish before she can complete her mission, with only her diary left behind. A century later, we have a second storyline of Hadley Baxter, the down-on-her-luck actress who is tasked to play Marion in a film. We get 2 characters into vastly different timelines, into vastly different geographies, and we get to watch, with pleasure, how those two collide. Great Circle has already received tons of praise, starred reviews, and J. Courtney Sullivan has said that it is one of the best books she has ever read. Up next is There's a Revolution Outside, My Love, Letters from a Crisis. This is a collection edited by Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Tracy K. Smith and John Freeman, the executive editor of LitHub. Between the COVID-19 pandemic and the historic protests that began last summer and continue through today, we are painfully aware of how we are in an unprecedented and revolutionary time. But this searing anthology gathers letters, poems, reflections, and essays to process and react to the vast changes we have experienced in the past year. It begins with this heart-rending poem by Patricia Smith, which reflects on and grieves the murder of George Floyd, amongst others. And what follows is this kaleidoscope of voices from all over the country, from Layli Long Soldier to Edwidge Danticat, so many beloved authors who in total have brought home 4 Pulitzers, 2 National Book Awards, and several Whitings. I believe that this is a once-in-a-generation piece of literature. This collection is so beautiful and intimate and asks incredibly tough questions about grief, justice, and loss. Next up is the perfectly voiced debut, The Britneys by Brittany Ackerman. Bursting with bittersweet nostalgia, The Britneys is set in the near and dear to me mid-aughts and takes place over the course of one girl's freshman year at prep school. Our narrator is in a not-so-popular clique of 5 girls, all whom happen to be named Britney. So we follow narrator Britney as she falls in and out of love with boys, navigates the complicated dynamics of adolescent friendship, and not to mention the complicated dynamics of family relationships. Full disclosure, reading The Britneys will force you to reflect on your own hilariously awkward, possibly cringe, for me it was, teenage years. It so perfectly captures that awkward, embarrassing, excited energy, especially in the 2000s where flat ironing your hair, Brazilian jeans, and choker necklaces were all the rage. So basically, if Stephanie Danler's Sweetbitter and Lori Moore's Who Will Run the Frog Hospital ran away to Florida together and had a baby, That's the Britneys. So for this next book, I have to, pun intended, set the stage. The year is 1969, and the fabled Baleen Island Folk Fest is all abuzz with one name, Jesse Reed. Tall, handsome, soft-spoken, with this one headlining performance, Jesse Reed is poised to tip from rock and roll fame to legend. That is, until his motorcycle crashes on the way to the show. Enter Jane Quinn, a Baleen Island local who, when asked that she and her bandmates play in Jesse Reed's stead, she doesn't believe it. But Jane plants her bare feet on that folk fest main stage and delivers the performance of a lifetime. What follows is a love story, a tumultuous journey through the depths of the music industry, an homage to the 70s that is just so good. Songs in Ursa Major by Emma Brody is shot through with that early 70s music scene. It is inspired by the real-life love affair between James Taylor and Joni Mitchell. If you are a fan of Daisy Jones and the Six, books by Curtis Sittenfeld, Meg Wolitzer, or Emma Straub, this just needs to be next on your list. Songs in Ursa Major is a glittering debut, and I'm so excited for Emma Brody's book to be out in the world. Lastly, but certainly not least, the international bestseller Ghosts by Dolly Alderton is making its way from the UK to the United States. This is a smart, sexy, laugh-out-loud romantic comedy about ex-boyfriends, imperfect parents, friends with kids, and a man who disappears the moment he says, "I love you." Our main character, Nina Dean, is not especially bothered that she is single, but when she downloads a dating app, she accomplishes the seemingly impossible. She meets a great guy on the first date. Her date, Max, is handsome, built like a lumberjack. He has floppy long hair and a stable job. And more importantly than that, Nina and Max have chemistry. Their jokes are witty and ironic. They dance together like fools. They both hate sports. But just when it seems like Nina and Max have created an entire universe of inside jokes and romance together, Max ups and ghosts her. Ghosts by Dolly Alderton is a whip-smart, gorgeous novel that explores the fallout from one event to the next. And if you want to know whether or not Nina and Max will see each other again, you're just gonna have to pick up the book for yourself. So, those are 6 fantastic titles I am so glad I had the opportunity to share with you. Happy reading!
Hope you enjoyed this publisher presentation. If you'd like to see more book group speed dating, follow the link in the description and find more on readinggroupguides.com.